Women are severely underrepresented in our government and, yes, misrepresented in our media, absolutely. The statistics in government are really stunning. Women are about 20% of our Congress right now, and in California, the same in our California legislature. And then if you just look around at other areas too, on our corporate boards and in the business world, very, very few women. And that's a great challenge for the next generation. That's a challenge for you all, is to help break down those barriers, and my generation as well, is to help break down those barriers.
There are those who make the contention that no woman should ever dare to aspire to the White House, that this is a man's world, and that it should be kept that way.
My name is Kate Collin, and I'm a council member for the city of San Rafael.
My name is Sheila Shaw Lichtblau, and I am a judge at the Superior Court in the County of Marin.
My name is Mary Jane Burke, and I'm the Marin County Superintendent of Schools.
My name is Anna Pletcher, and I'm running for Marin County District Attorney.
In my view, education is the way that we level the playing field for everybody in our community. And so for me, my mom was very young when she had me, and that led to her ultimately wanting to be sure that I had a strong educational background so I could be successful. And so I learned from my mom how important education is, and I now get the opportunity to work tirelessly on behalf of other people's kids.
Now, I started my professional career on the Wall Street trading floor, which was a sea of men. I was one of only 2 women on the whole floor, and then started a regular career as an investment banker, and again, one of very few women. When I made it into criminal law, once again, I'm one of the only women in the game. But I found that actual biggest challenge as a woman was trying to become a manager. There are lots of women these days graduating from law school and graduating from professional schools, but once you try to raise up the ranks and get into the management position, that's when there are very few women, and there's a lot of bias there.
Got involved in the San Rafael City Council from a councilwoman that was actually already on the council, and she was only the 3rd woman in 100 years, and so I was the 4th. And she started talking to me about it when I was on the Planning Commission, which I had to warm up to the idea because it's a lot more public time, it's a lot more time away from my family, and she was very persistent. I think there's a key message there. I think it has to do with mentorship and bringing others along and really talking to them about why they could be impactful. And so when the opportunity arose, I was actually appointed into an empty seat.
When you're working, at least in a law firm and as a partner, your job is to try and bring in as much business as you can. And if you have a traditionally male field where you had clients who were male, and you would have males doing things like going golfing or engaging in other certain activities, there would be friendships that would form, and of course out of that would come lucrative client deals. And so it has been more difficult for women to break into that particular field.
Our media is obsessed with women as objects, and we see it unfortunately reflected too in the way women are portrayed in the media, but everything is just so much about our bodies as an object. I believe that this is because we don't have enough women in the powerful positions to be making the decisions. We have very few women executives in Hollywood. The numbers and statistics there are shocking and shameful. And when we don't have critical mass of women making these decisions, then we are not going to be represented. There's a famous saying that says, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And I feel very much like that's what's happening.
I do have to share that there was a very negative sexist comment that came back to me that a former elected official had said about me. And it was one of those things I thought, and it was about my appearance, and I thought, wow, that is so rude. And again, knowing myself, it didn't land, the barb didn't land. It was not great to hear, but like, okay, he's kind of a jerk. But what I did in this case, because it's someone in my community, is I called him on it. Because I wanted him to know that, again, we all have lines we can't cross, and that one was not okay. And as the rest of the story goes, when I called him on it, his first comment back was, "Who told you?" Not, "I didn't say that," you know. Eventually, I got an apology, but that really wasn't the point. The point was, both for me and for this individual, like, that's not okay. And I do try to draw that line. So when I do get attacked personally, if any emails or in meetings, I try to redirect. I try to acknowledge the behavior, not attack back. You're not going to get anywhere, and then redirect.
The more you have women who are in leadership roles, the more educated male leaders become about, you know, the different constraints that women may have in particular. I think really being incredibly aware of all of that is how we get to a bigger and better place.
The big picture here is women do earn less in America because they choose to. They would rather go to their daughter's piano recital than stay all night at work working on a proposal.
What?
So they end up earning less. They're less ambitious, and I think this is sort of God's way. This is nature's way of saying women should be at home with the kids. They're happier there. If you were a real feminist, you would support housewives and see them as the heroes and women who work wasting their time. Most women are happier at home. They are pretending that they like working, and they're not making money because they don't stay all night at the office. They don't go the extra mile. They don't work all weekend. You're making a mistake. You would be much happier at home with a husband and children.
I remember a particular instance where I was preparing for a trial and having to get a babysitter to take care of my son while I was preparing for trial. And at one point I had to bring this to the attention of the male partners and say, look, I'm spending, you know, $100 a day just so I can prepare for this case. The issue had never come up with them because they always had their wives that would take care of the kids. So they never thought about the fact that me as a mother, I would actually have to spend money just to prepare a case for them. These are issues that are starting to change, I think, in the workplace. I think when we talk about much more flex time and allowing people to work from home, I think it is really starting to change the field. But at least when I was a lawyer and a partner at a firm, there were those obstacles that did make it more difficult.
Very often, women don't see themselves in the role of an elected official. I think it's really important. We want to make sure that our community is represented by a great deal of diversity, so we have different concepts and aspects of life represented.
My advice is to be bold, be courageous, believe in yourself, and know that you are not alone, that you are worth it and your voice matters. You may hear, as you go into a male-dominated field, you may see around you, you may see the sexism, you may feel that your position or your ideas are devalued, but know that you are important and that diversity of viewpoint that you bring is critical. So make sure that you speak loud and strong and develop a support network to help you do that.